Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the C-List Villains, your cultivators of the comic culture. I'm your host, AJ. We've got the whole gang in the house. We've got Red, we've got Luke, we've got E-Man, and we've got a special guest artist extraordinaire, Mr. Mel Milton himself. Good evening, everyone.
Yay! What's up, baby?
What's going on? What's
like
going
Voltron, we're back in the house. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Man, Mel's a good guy, man. I love the energy already. He's giggling.
I'm like I said, dear life right now. Dear life. I'm holding on to dear life.
That's the best time to be a part of a podcast right there when you're holding on for dear life.
Yes.
Let everything go, man.
Right.
How's everyone's week been going? How's everyone's Tuesday?
It's going. I haven't even done Christmas shopping. Who's done Christmas shopping? That's the real
That's
question.
my bedtime. Let's go.
Right? That's me. That's me. What he said.
Red's up until like 2:00 in the morning sending memes. Don't listen to that guy.
I'm half asleep. I will send me.
Luke, how's it going, man? How's everything over there in Portland?
Christmas shopping. We do all our Christmas shopping on Friday, Black Friday.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
And we have a spot that does 50% off all toys. So we have it like mapped out in this store. So we're just in and out in like 20 minutes, 50% off, done.
Is it a one of those chains, or is it like a mom and pop store?
It's a Northwest chain called Fred Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so bomb.
He's
Every
the
year,
one
baby.
for that.
So remember Optimus Prime? That's my guy right there. So any laying around, it's okay to send him over.
Okay.
You know. What was that, Red?
For Christmas, I bought you guys lingerie.
Ooh.
I don't care if it doesn't fit. I just want you to wear it.
Neil,
Yeah,
I
what
don't
you
know.
do, big boy?
All right. Okay.
Edible.
What did you get me? Make sure mine matches too. I like the purple with the purple, you know. Or let's go Joker, like purple with the yellow.
That's all tassels for you, though.
Ooh.
It's not my thing.
All right. Okay.
Like that. Can you imagine that, Red?
Do you love how it's already going off the rails, Mel?
Yep.
Already going off the rails.
I need to know.
We gave Mel like full authorization to just ball out. So, Red, what color are my tassels?
What's that?
What color are my tassels?
Oh, it's sparkly silver.
Ooh,
That's right.
silver. Blah. Cheapo.
Green.
Cheap ass silver.
Like, I want to know what the expensive tassels look like. So the silver ones, what's the good one?
Cones.
Yeah, the ones that are made of real hair, the one that comes from India.
Oh, the what? Wait,
All
what?
right. Okay. All right. Hey, Mel. So, no, I is this your work office here in the background?
I don't work. I try to be a big kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I've learned is that work is just not fun. So I just try to be like what I do. I told people I'm a professional hobbyist.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Because again, you look at a hobbyist will get right to it. They'll be on the they'll be on the crapper and be like, I'll do my drawing while I'm in the bathroom. Whereas when it's work, as soon as you're done with work, you're like, I'm shutting down. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gone. So it's always on my mind. So like to me, this is I usually don't work in here that much. Lately, I have been.
Oh,
But
okay.
usually I'm out in my kitchen.
Oh wow. Okay. Because I see you quite the. It looks like In the background, you got is that a Wonder Woman in the back over there?
That's my brother's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, some Toy Story 3. He's got some. Is that some Xbox games?
Yeah. I got mine. I don't know.
Some
It's a
Star Wars. Man. See, look, everyone who's watching, you guys need to send more stuff to Mel. Looks like we need to fill up his cabinet right back there. You know?
Oh no, like I have a whole nother room that's just toys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I had my office at work and my home office, and it was just all toys. And then like when you come home, you bring all the toys. So yeah, a lot of it's just still sitting in boxes right now.
Right.
Let's take a little bit of time right quick to say what's up to the chat. Jackalama came up. Everyone shut up. The C-list villains are going live soon. I like the Anchorman reference there. Slumboards. What's up in the house?
That is Luther.
Andrew Louis in the house. What's up, man? Isaiah coming by and kicking it.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Nocturnal, Miss So, our homegirl, Miss So, what it do? And then our boy Comic Journey CJ. We're all the cosplayers, fellas. So let's talk cosplayers, right? Can we do that, or is that like off limits? Mel missed last week's show, so he's not really sure what's going on.
Well,
but
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
right?
2
He
weeks.
was at the event. That's where it
2
happened.
weeks ago. Oh, that's right. He was at the actual event, but let's not get him tied up with that. CJ, by the way, a huge shout out. Appreciate you, CJ. I know you're probably streaming right now. Thanks for coming by. I'll probably stop by mid show and say what's up, dude.
Yeah, thanks for taking care of Evil Fed for us.
Yes, letting him vent on his show too.
Was that quite a venting experience or what?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
pretty
fine.
cool.
We didn't get misogynistic at all.
So Mel, just to keep you caught up, 2 weeks ago we did a show, and one of our guests was pretty upset that he lost the cosplay contest and kind of ripped, the event and the show and some of the judges, and we kind of jumped on
and
we
the
didn't really
contestants
stop him.
Also.
And then some of the contestants, some of us were a little bit more verbal than others. Here's the thing: that show caught wind in the cosplay community and all around TikTok, and apparently we had like almost 4,000 views and people commenting up and down. Oh, you guys are misogynistic. You guys are terrible. I don't believe you guys are crying over
Bunch of grown men crybabies here.
Why, yeah, I was like, wow. What else? I want to know a little bit more. So it was an eventful week for us. It was pretty gnarly.
Oh, I saw the cosplayers are magical. Like I always wanted to be a cosplayer. Eventually one day I'll cosplay, but.
I have so much respect for the cosplayers. I really do.
Like to me, it's just I like I said, why I became an artist was the idea of what an artist's life was, and so it's like this positive thing. There's just so much like people are just so angry and so set off really quick. It's just a weird thing,
Mm-hmm.
I like how tight knit they are. Seriously, big respect out to the cosplay community. I'm sorry we pissed you off. Red said some things, I don't know, I said some things, it's okay.
And just to piggyback on E-Man, we appreciate the cosplayers at the comic conventions, and we want to, we love the uniqueness and the creativity that we see every time they're on the floor.
Exactly.
And that will get you 5. That's what 5 views, AJ. 5 people will respond to that, not 4,000. 5 people will be like, "Thank you. I will now not subscribe."
Well,
there we go.
They gained a few more subscribers because of that event.
So should we start getting into some questioning? Should we start asking Mel about who Mel is?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
So Mel, we're going to be getting into this little segment where we're going to be asking
Mel who Mel
is. Yeah, look at that. Getting ready for this. Right, so Mel, we're going to get into your bio. So we're going to ask the question.
Oh, so
so that's
who were not born past 2000.
What's
ASL stands for
what's
age,
ASL?
Age, sex, and location. Correct.
Location. Yeah. So we're gonna ask you your age, sex, location, and all that good stuff, Mel. So talk to us, man. So you mentioned behind the scenes, that you were not born here. Talk to us about where you came from first and foremost.
So with the age, that'd be 53. Born in 1970 in the Philippines. Was raised there until about 11.
Man, you look good for 53. That's all I know.
I
Oh,
swear, I
dude.
thought you were like,
I thought you were our age.
our age.
I feel like 90 miles of bad road is what I feel like. So
90 miles of bad road. That sounds like a
Yes.
trucker term right
Yes.
there, isn't it?
Well,
terrible.
he has a bad road riding on a tricycle or jeepney.
Or jeepney, yeah.
Jeepneys, yes.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like growing up in the Philippines, man?
I loved it. Like it was like it was like an adventure. Like my daughter was like, "You had these adventures growing up, Dad," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. You're growing up here in Utah. I feel bad. There's not as many adventures, but like grow up in the Philippines, there was always like when my mom would take us off base and stuff like that, and I would see my relatives. It was just like just the culture and everything was just so beautiful, and part of me was like, when I got to the States, it was weird. Like we wanted to get to the States just because of like McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time when we moved, they got their first McDonald's like by us like a month before I moved. And I was like, really? Because every time we came to the States, it was like my dad would be like, we're going to McDonald's. And you just get triggered, right? As a kid, you're like, we don't have easy access to that in the Philippines.
Right.
But like, it was something about it because it was like everybody I hung out with was, something in Filipino. So when I got to the States, it was really weird because it was like, oh, I really don't fit in here. Like, I got picked on. My name was Melvin. I was like 50 pounds wet. So it was like, it was horrible growing up in the States for me.
Where did you move? Where was your first location?
When we moved to the States, it was Santa Barbara County.
Okay.
It was Lompoc.
SoCal.
So it was Lompoc. So Vandenberg Air Force Base. So like my dad was stationed out there. So I think that's where it is. Dude, like my memory. Like we traveled a lot. I think Lompoc was when I like remembered coming to the States and we planted roots in the States.
So
we've
traveling
got
as much as you did, like what was some of the more memorable cities or some of the more memorable locations that you've been at? It sounds like you've been in a lot of places.
In the Philippines or just all over?
Just all over in general, including cons.
I'm just new to the conventions. Like I'm so wet behind the ears to conventions. Like,
oh wow,
right? So like that was my second Comic Con. Like I did Salt Lake was my first one, but I just did it to like I wasn't even in comics at the time. I just did it so I can get a picture with my daughter behind the booth. Like it was like my bucket list to do San Diego. Like my first comic convention was in '91 at San Diego, and I was like, it was the first time I saw artists sitting in Artist Alley drawing and stuff. So I was like, man, like what that would be like to be like drawing and people coming up and being super enamored with an artist.
Uh-huh.
And so I was kind of like, that's what I want to do. So my first comic convention was, I believe, 2012. But that was more for me. Like I was doing the fan art stuff at the time.
Right.
Just like
we do have a quick question from Comic Journey. How is the food in the Philippines?
Oh, magical. Like it was funny. What was that? I just finally learned how to make chicken arroz caldo.
Okay.
And I was like, my wife was like, well, why don't you make? I didn't make it until I was 48 because it was like when my mom made it, it was like a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like that, just make you feel good. And so I was like, and then I finally made it and was like, why didn't I do this more often? Or the chicken, chicken adobo, and it was like my mom got me stuff that I didn't even know the names to. And then, like I said, it's been so long. I haven't seen my mom since I was 15, and so so it's one of those things. Like I didn't really get that experience all the way up. but it's something that's super special to me. But the food, it was just like everything was an adventure. Like we would always go, like my favorite was when I went to Subic Bay, and as a kid.
Hold on. Don't tell us what your favorite food is just yet. That's part of the rapid question.
Oh, okay,
questions. I don't want to ruin that one, okay? Hold on to that one. We'll figure out what your favorite food is later on, okay?
Oh man, that was a tough
The
one.
reference is Arroz Caldo right here. This is
Yes.
this is rice porridge or Chinese congee. It's just more ginger and chicken and fried garlic.
Yes.
Fried garlic is what makes
Look
it.
at I'm all like, dang, dude, you had to throw that up.
You got four people controlling their own computers. They're going to be throwing up stuff left and right, Mel. Just expect the unexpected with this
All right.
group of misfits over here.
Except porn. No porn.
Mel, so you were saying that you started going to conventions back in 2012, you said?
I think it's somewhere around there, 2013, something like that.
Okay. So then I'm just curious to know, are you like your history in art are you self-taught? Did you go to school? How did you come about getting to where you're at pretty much?
Hold on. If we're going to be talking about art, remember we have a whole intro for art. Hold on. We still have some more personal questions to
This
ask.
is all
We got
background
another-
stuff.
Let's go. Let's do one more question from CJ. He wants to know what's the weirdest thing you ever ate.
From the Philippines?
From the Philippines?
The question was just. Like Red was so offended with that. He didn't say in the Philippines, just in general.
No,
it could be like Russian food, man. I don't know.
No, that's why I said it's like I am not a foodie by any means. Like my mom, we never even questioned it. You know what I said? Mom would make stuff, and like you didn't have time to be like finicky. Like my family's finicky. Is that balut?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. See, like my mom.
I don't think
our
audience was ready for this,
I couldn't do
but-
that one.
Everybody ate that.
Right? Everybody ate that. I couldn't do it. Just this idea. My mom used to crack up. She would try to put it in front of. That was probably the only one that my mom would let me go. Like, you don't have to eat it.
Not without beer.
Right? So yeah, I haven't done that one. And again, I don't know the names of a lot of it because again, my time as a kid was more, you're just like, okay, let's try it. Let's do it.
Right.
So I don't ever remember anything my mom putting in front of me being like, ugh, what is that? Except for the balut. The balut, because she explained it. Like my mom was she was a horror movie fanatic, right? So she would, like, I remember at 8 years old, she took me to go see The Exorcist.
Damn, at 8?
At 8, right? At 8. That's like horror movies with my mom. Horror movies with my mom was like Disney. So, like, I remember we were in the theater, and she leans over to me, and she's like, we're in The Exorcist, and she leans over, and she's like, this could really happen, right? And I was, oh man, I was messed up. And so, and living in the Philippines, there was a lot of tremors at the time. So, like, my older brother, he would run with it. So, like, when the bed would shake, he would jump up. Oh, the devil's got me. The devil's got me. Dude, and I would run to the door and try to breathe. Like, we weren't allowed to come out the room. So I would crack the door and breathe the light like that was going to save me. Like, oh, God.
I can only imagine Mom coming out. Jesus Christ. He is coming right now. Please, for the sake of everything, pray for my children. Jesus Christ.
Right. Oh, my mom. If we ever wanted my mom to go to the theater, it was like, as soon as we saw some horror movie like The Omen or all those movies, we'd be like, Mom, there's this horror movie out. She would take us to the theater. Like, that was my Disney times.
All right, I'm about to change one of these questions. I'm
I
going to
still
ask
can't
you
believe she
something
took you to see Exorcist at age 8.
Right?
I don't know. Did you see horror movies at 8, AJ?
No, I still don't watch them.
I try to get my daughter to watch them just because, as I was saying, it's like, as a kid, like I understood what was real and what was fake, and to me, it also, it was like like I will never drop my keys trying to get to the car. You know what I'm saying?
But growing up in the
Like that ain't happening. That's like, hey,
no,
dude.
the Philippines, you knew about the old ghost stories, the old wives' tales
Oh
about
yeah,
the lady in white,
The lady in white. Yeah.
you know,
Right?
the child eating bats are the size of like BWs.
He- Here's my take on all that
What was
stuff.
your
Like
Boogie Monster?
all that stuff scares the shit out of me. So I do not want to like watch any of it because it just plays in my head, and then I can't sleep. I'm still a big baby when it comes to that.
Well,
And I'll tell you, it's because you cannot fight the supernatural.
Right?
Wasn't he a part of the story where like his car went downhill and like it got pressed up? Was he
oh yeah,
that
yeah, he was
AJ?
with us. He was with us when we went to that.
I wasn't there.
No,
San Diego, no.
He was
That's
me.
true.
But yeah, it was a freeway off ramp that went downhill, but then because of the way the vision is, it's actually going downhill. But yeah, but you have handprints on your hood when you're being pushed up the off ramp.
It's the Mau Mau right there. It's the Mau Mau.
Yeah.
You. It's the Kukui. See, I'm half Mexican, so like I had the Kukui. Like all my Boogie Monsters were Kukui.
Yeah, but
Growing up.
yeah,
Oh,
AJ
the
lives
Kukui's gonna
alone,
get
so
you.
he could probably look at it behind his closet looking for like the white lady like tonight.
Stop
All
it.
about the white
Stop
lady.
it all.
All about the white lady. Watch. The lady in white, not the,
The
white
lady in
lady.
white.
The lady,
Yeah,
lady
yeah.
in white.
That's racist.
Yeah,
Uh,
The lady in white.
So let's go ahead and start talking about some of Mel's art here because we had some questions like, hey, can we see some of Mel's art? So Mel,
Oh,
we're gonna talk about your art. So I'm going to be honest, Mel. I'm going to be perfectly honest. My very first experience and even hearing the words Mel Milton happened at Fan Expo San Francisco, about a month ago. And these guys were like, "Oh man, Mel Milton this, Mel Milton that, yada yada yada." And I was like, "Dude, I don't know who this guy is. I feel bad. All my friends know him." And my very first interaction with you was when you were talking to Luke and you were signing his banner of I don't know, I forgot what you call it, Luke. What's the banner called?
Banner of Destiny.
Banner of Destiny. You chopped it up with us for quite a while as if like we were friends and just life came unpaused. And I just wanted to say just how cool Mel was, just talking to a bunch of dorks at a con and just how just a really cool guy he was. So I'm happy that we actually get to show off your art here or talk about your art. So let's get with some basic questions. Number one, talk to us about some of your more recent pieces of work.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's start off with how he got to where he's at.
oh
E-man.
man, like that's
You're
a
right.
long road.
You're right. This guy, I apologize. ADHD,
Right.
and then I want to know about your shoe size and your blood type.
Right.
And
So yeah, give us.
So-
I know that you started off in 2012 going to cons. I'm just curious to know like how you got to where you were at. Did you have any formal education, things of that nature?
No, no, not formally trained. I got my. Oh man, it's like, where do you want to start? At the start of the career, or like I was influenced to be an artist at a very young age, but like I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. Had a bunch of issues, and always wanted to be an artist. Like I always wanted to be an artist, but because I didn't see a lot of people like me, it never felt believable. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it was like I always felt like because of my education background, I was like, I'm too stupid to learn like anatomy and all that stuff. So I just kind of like, I went to a graphic design trade school. My brother was like, do something with your life. And I was like, graphic design is as close as I'm going to get to doing art. So I took the course and it was horrible. It was like, I didn't like very much of it. Like it was old school. This was like before Photoshop and all that. Like you were hand cutting letters and, doing the kerning by hand and using Friscuits. And to me, it was so technical and I'm not like that technical guy. So but I finished it and it was like, I wanted to be this artist and I was in San Diego and they put me with an illustrator. I was like 19 years old and, I was like, we got paid by the job. So it was like, I was doing like backgrounds for like kid shows or whatever, inking stuff for him, and it was like as close as I thought I was going to get to, but I didn't get paid like normal. It was like one job took like 3 months, and so I couldn't get paid until the 3 months until we finished the project. So I remember I was quitting, and I was like, I can't do art. I can't, and I was living in San Diego at the time, working at Carl's Jr. And then I'd hop the trolley 2 hours to get to this guy's studio. And I remember he gave me my first bit of advice, because I said, I can't do this. My landlord doesn't understand that I'm not getting paid. Like I need money. And he was like, well, Mel, you got the skill. Just don't let the what if get too big, And so I was, like that's when I went to my first comic convention. I was like a volunteer. And I remember just seeing it and I was like, what is this world, Got to meet artists, was, talking to all these people. I had easy access. And somebody turned me on to some people in New York that were comic artists. And they're like, it's like a big commune. You would be a fantastic penciler. So I was like, sold everything in my apartment. I was like, I'm heading to New York to try to be that guy. And my older brother lived here in Utah. And he was like, why don't you stay here, save some money, then go. And what is that, 30 some odd years later, I'm still here. So then fast forward to I taught myself computers and I got into web design. So the internet started to blow up. I became a web designer and I had met my wife. And I remember I was just miserable at that job. And so I remember asking her, I was like, look, I want to be an artist. I don't know how to do it. But before we get married, I'd like to go for it, because I hated my job. But I went to my boss and I was like, I asked him to lay me off because I was like, I won't leave the money. The money was too good. Internet had been booming and it was like, but it was sucking the life out of me. So I was like, I remember going I thought she was going to think I was silly. And she said, go for it. So from there, I was like, I found out there was a video game studio not too far away from me. So I made that my goal. And I got on there as an interface designer. Okay, we're getting there.
Right? It's past his bedtime, man, and we're asking him questions.
So the first game I remember I was working on that. They had me doing they had me come on as a concept person for like they were trying to pitch a game. And I remember my boss, the guy who hired me, they weren't even supposed to hire. They hired me like on April Fools, and I was making like $5 an hour. And like my first check was like $35 after a month of working.
What?
Oh yeah. But I was happy as all get out. My wife was like, "We're never getting married. Like, you're never gonna make money at this." But I was just so excited to have my foot in the door. And so I remember I was working on this pitch, and they were like, I remember my boss, the guy who hired me, was like trying to put together an interactive disc to send to the publishers to show them the game we were working on. And I hated it at the time again because like my graphic design, like my web design, I hated it. But I was like, I'll help you out. I know that stuff really good, so I'll help you out with it because you helped me get this job. So I built that, and they sent it out. It didn't work out, and they were going to fire all of us. But because I did that disc for them with all the interface stuff, they're like, hey, we're working on a Van Helsing project. You can come on as the interface designer, but we know you don't want to do that. And I was like, that's my foot in the door. I'll take it. So I did interface for 3 years and was miserable every second.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like, got your foot in the door. Now we're going to slam the door on your foot as much as humanly possible. So I would run around and everybody was super nice. But like, I remember my friends were like, I don't know how you got this job. You're like, your drawing skills aren't that good.
Damn.
And my first boss. My first boss.
Some friends.
Yeah.
I know.
No, my first. No,
hey man, we love you, but your shit sucks. That's messed up.
I go back thinking. So, in your art career, everybody wants to be able to say, hey, there's all these people that supported me, help me to get there. But, sometimes it's not those people that get you going. You know what I'm saying? So I remember my after 3 years, I was just broken. And everybody was leaving that studio going to Disney Interactive. And I remember I was like, at that time, I remember my boss was like, "Hey, we're gonna change directions. We're getting out of video games and moving into web." And that was like the last straw for me. I was like, "Oh no, 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 no! I don't want to do that crap." And he was like, "Mel," and I remember he saying, "He's like, Mel, I don't understand why you try to draw. You're not that good. You're really good at interface, right?" Like, and he was honest. Like, I get what he was saying at the time, but like I said, I was, I was like, like, why would you? You're not going to tell me who I can or can't be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So part of me wanted to prove him wrong. And so I have a bunch of people, not a bunch of people, but there's stories like that. Like I was working in t-shirts and I remember my manager at the time, I was like, I need more money. Like teachers ain't paying me crap. And I learned everything. I learned how to do hats and burn my own film and run all the machines, package everything up. Like I knew the whole business. And yet, I was making like $8 an hour. And so my boss was like, Mel, put together all the stuff that you do for this company. I'll walk into you with the owner and talk to the owner and get you a raise. So I was like, over the weekend, writing all the stuff that I did for the company, put it together, and I go with my boss who suggested this. I go into the owner's office with him, and I go and I'm like, these are all the things that I do for your company. I deserve a raise. And my manager, the guy who told me to do this, turns to me and he looks at me and he goes, well, we can give you a nickel. Like, we'll give you a nickel raise. If you're not happy with that, we have a stack of artists that want your job. So by all means, you can. Like, the owner didn't say anything. Like this, like I felt like I was stabbed in the back. Like, what?
So this is your friend that told you to talk to the manager?
Told me to talk to get a raise, right? And I remember he pulled me out after that, and he goes, Mel, I know you're not going to understand this now, but he's like, you don't deserve this. He's like, you have a lot of skills. You need to put yourself out there. Don't be stuck in this job. Don't be like shooting to be a manager here, because most of these people have been at that company. That's what they were getting. He was like, you're not going to get anywhere. Some of those people have been there 20 years, and the whole time they only got $5 raise for the whole time. So he's like, no, you have a talent that you can actually do something. And again, in my mind, I didn't hear any of that. I was just pissed. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, you put me out there. And 3 years later, I thanked him for that, because it was like one of the biggest things that I needed. Like he saw something in me that I didn't even see in me. And so like, to me, like I still to this day don't understand how I'm in this industry. Like, I don't, but there's been people who've helped me along the way. And so, like I said, when my boss, my video game company, told me that, I was like, I don't care. Like, I ended up going back to school. I went and did Animation Mentor online, and I ended up being a character animator for 5 years at Disney Interactive. And so I finally moved out of that, became the animator. I was like, animation, I love characters, I love people moving, I love the acting part of it, I love storytelling, I love expressions, I just love people. And so in my free time, I'd always draw, but to me, I was like, I'll just be an animator. And then my daughter was born, and I was like, I'm like, my daughter was born, I was like, I feel like I would miss out. So when me and my wife were trying to decide who to come home, I was like, well, let me come home. I'll be at home, stay at home dad, and I can work from home. And I basically locked up. So I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so the drawing, that's where, I got on to just doing, I call them, like, my online presence, Mel Made Dukes. Dukes is short for Dookie. So Mel Made Poop is what people know me for. Like, it was funny because, like, when I did it, I was like, here's today's Duke. And people would be like, well, what's a Duke? And I'm like, it's poop. They're like, no, it's not poop.
We got a question from the audience here, Mel. So Isaiah's asking, how do you come up with some of the concepts?
Oh, I don't. No, like, that was a funny thing, because, like, when I started drawing, I always drew. And so I'd leave stacks and stacks of drawings at wherever I worked. There was always, like, before I went to work, and then after I shut down, I would just draw, just to draw. So when I went home, I was just drawing, and people started gravitating towards it, which was weird to me because it was like that was my morning run, right? So that would be like everybody thanking you for running in the morning, like thank you for running. I love your shoes, I love the stride that you get, and it's like okay, thanks, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm trying to improve, and so but from there it was just like I drew things that felt fun for me. So it's like everything that I loved, all the nerdy, geeky stuff, comics, video games, cartoons is funny because now those are all the things that I work on. But
Right.
in my mind, I was never trying to get that skill set to do those things. It was just me tending to me, like being a big kid. So even when I work now, I work like that big kid. Like when they hand me, they say, here's a character we want you to work on. I will handle it like I'm that kid who doesn't do it for a living. It's just like I just want to nerd out and be all excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that I want to see, so that I'm never in that place where like I'm trying to impress somebody else. I'm always trying to impress me. Like I'm the guy who loves that stuff. So can I put that love of the game into my art and get somebody else to feel it? If that makes any sense. Did I go on to have a squirrel moment? Did I answer a question?
Did the ADHD kick
Yeah,
in?
it was like,
No,
what?
that's perfect. I like what you just said right there. You just gonna approach this like the big kid who's not getting paid because,
Right?
I mean, that's true, man. Right? A lot of kids that go out there and start drawing, they just do it just for fun, just to see if they can do it.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
start
yet you
figures,
actually have the skills to be able to
into
do it, which is great.
action figures.
Right. No, it's everything. Like when you guys saw me at the convention, a lot of people when they come meet me, they're like, "No, you're just so excited to talk about art." And I go because I know what it's like, who I look like not doing art. Like I said, I go back to the homeless drug addict who's like no hope to be anybody. Like when I would tell people that, I would tell people I was homeless or, a drug addict or I dropped out of school, people would just react like that's a normal thing. Like, oh, yeah, okay. But when I tell people I'm an artist, they go, whoa, what, like, what kind of artist do you do? And then when I got on at studios that people recognize, then it was like, whoa, that's even weirder. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it's always been like when I handled it the way I want. So like when I saw you guys and took time with you guys at conventions, I take time with Eric because I know when I speak to people, like it makes me feel good when there's an artist there who spends some time with me. It's not about the product. It's more about the experience with somebody, especially at a convention. Like I
Right.
hate doing conventions. I love doing conventions, but I'm not a salesman. I'm not a business person. So, it's like, here, take this. Here, take this. I'll give it to you for free. But just because there's so many beautiful people, that you interact with. And so, yeah, so like, I was like, my daughter's totally into Genshin Impact. And she came by, and I was just like, they were so excited, and she was like, this is her first cosplay. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. And I sat and talked with her forever. She's such a complete sweet. Her and her father is just complete sweethearts. And
Yeah,
to
and
me,
her
that's why I got into this space, to have a place where I could be excited about the things that I love and share it with people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to share a positive experience. Like, because that's what, any good comic book, any good movie, you want to share that with people. And so to me, the creator part is just me expressing the things that I love, around people. And it's like, if somebody
Mhm.
doesn't love it, I totally get it. I totally understand it. You don't have to love what I love, and that's what art is.
and the father of that young girl, James, he's a friend of ours. Jade, we met her that weekend, and they could not stop talking about you. How you were, super impactful on some of the decisions that she was going to make for her costume. James was just so thankful for how kind you were to her, and that's what resonated the most with me about you, Mel. Like, your art is great. I'm not going to say it sucked, because it didn't suck. I don't want you being, I don't want you developing for anyone ever again.
Right.
But what resonated with me is just how friendly and how amazing you were with the people there. And I want to thank you for that. And if anyone has a chance to meet Mel Milton at a con, please do, because this man is just a fantastic human being to be around.
Yeah.
Stop.
And I know, Luke, you had some questions that you wanted to ask Mel. So,
well,
you
Mel,
have
I
the
got some
stage.
stuff. I got a few things from you.
You did.
This really cool. Red Sonja. I didn't ask you. Is that Red Sonja?
Sonja.
Let's
Okay.
blow him up.
Red Sonja. I did that with my
Oh, nice.
my first Kickstarter. It was like my
So
first.
this was much appreciated, and then this even prettier
That right
Leia.
there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That Leia was
gorgeous.
so
Thank you for
dope.
that.
Thanks. I
Gorgeous.
hate Tronic conventions, so that was.
And then the coup de grace. I got your
I
signed
got a
book back.
9.8.
9.8. So
Ooh,
thank you very
brother.
much. That's treasure.
That
Did you
is
buy
my
that?
that is my baby right there. That is probably the most special comic book to me.
I
Oh,
think
So talk to
really?
us a little bit about that one. Is that Yara Flor, or is that Diana?
That's it's Wonder Woman's daughter, Trinity.
Oh,
Oh,
the-
Trinity.
Right. So
Infinity.
Rich was the one that it was funny because I'm like, my wife was like, "What do you want to do?" Because I'm all over the place. So I'm doing Viz Dev for a pilot show, and then I'm doing game characters for a video game studio, and then I do comics, covers here and there. So I'm all over the place. But like my wife's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "As long as I'm having fun, but I would love to be able to hone a skill." So she was like, "Well, what would be like the coolest thing for you to do?" And I remember I was like, "If I could get a Wonder Woman cover, that would be the greatest thing ever to me, right? Like to actually do an official DC Wonder Woman cover." Like it's funny because that's like when I get art block, that's who I draw. I draw Wonder Woman. It's like I don't have to think of it. I'll draw her in so many variations. Like Wonder Woman was like the thing that got me hired on at Marvel. So it's like because I could do take one subject. Well, it was Marvel animation, so it was like I could take one subject, make a character, and express her in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And as a character designer, you want to be able to do that stuff, not just stick with like one style, but can you express it in multiples?
Actually, I need to follow up. Lawrence had asked me to pick up a table, the full version from your table that day, to see if Lawrence got his book already.
No, he hasn't. I need to, I think because they sold them. Like I didn't, like I had a couple from my family, and I was gone. So I thought when I went there, I would be able to pick some more up. But yeah, I didn't even get one. I'm like, crap. I should have.
I didn't see any either, which was weird. I didn't see any even at the booth.
Yeah, I signed.
I saw
them.
this version one, but not the foil one. So I
know that they're selling them on the Fan Expo site.
Okay, Fan Expo site. There you go.
Yeah, so I signed a bunch, but yeah, I was like, do I have to buy it?
I know. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have.
Sorry about that.
Here,
They're gonna make you
let's,
buy your own.
Right.
Well, yeah, you know what?
Some
gonna-
give comps, some don't.
Right.
I want to show off some more of Mel's work here, because he's got some. Any fans of Something's Killing the Children?
Yeah.
He's got a number 32 from Big Time Collectibles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like the negative space idea that you got here going on right here, Mel, with Erica. This little kid's always been creepy to me right here from
Right.
House of Slaughter. That dude, this is very Exorcist right here. This right here, this.
Yeah, it is.
I can
Who's
get
this
this.
character? Who's this kid?
What's that?
The character, that kid.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from House
has
of
no
Slaughter.
Ew. A lot of blood.
I dropped House of Slaughter a while ago. Fear. So someone asked about him doing Fear. He's got her face, I think, pretty much on lock. Her hairstyle right there. Fear is a sexy psycho, to be honest with you,
Right.
and I think Mel went ahead and captured her essence perfectly. I like how he tattooed his signature right there on her rib.
Keep it on.
Look at that.
Keep it on the down low.
That looks like That looks like the singer of Die Antwoord. Have you guys ever listened to them?
Wow, no. What is that?
Die
Never seen that
Antwoord,
again.
that South African like weird band. That's what the lead singer. If you Google Die Antwoord right now, you have
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's some of the stuff right there from Mel. Is this you too? Did you
Yeah,
do this
that's me
also?
too.
You did this. Oh, this is really cool. Little
Oh,
card.
That was
Little
a
6-inch figure right here.
toy card mock.
Oh man, I kind of want like the real thing now, based off of Mel's
Right.
idea.
I
at
would hang
that.
that up in my office. Yes.
Dude, she would hang out. She would totally hang out with like Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes for
Right.
sure. Like right there, side by side. That's some of Mel's work right there.
Is she?
Oh,
you,
And Miss
you know,
Die Antwood. Thank you, Miss Sil.
Yes.
Die Antwood.
is that character Fear? Is she a good guy or is she a protagonist or antagonist?
Oh, she's a antagonist in
Okay.
World Tree. Yeah, she's a fucking psycho, dude. I read the first 5. She's actually
Hallelujah.
she's pretty
There she
scary.
is.
I was gonna say, wasn't she in was it District 9?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
just gonna say they were both in District 9, right?
But
Yeah, it was
psycho.
Daphne.
Look
When
at
it
that.
Daphne-
Or that movie
robot.
Cappy. That movie Cappy. That was a
Yeah.
good movie.
That
I want
that's
more of that
uncanny.
universe. I loved that universe. It was like
Yeah.
weird Star Wars, but now future. I liked it.
That's it.
Which one?
Chappie in like
District-
District 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. District 9 was great. I didn't see
Neil
Chappie.
Blum. Is it Neil Blomkamp?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the heck
District
is he?
9.
He's
District
good,
9
so they
was
don't use him.
phenomenal. There was one movie that he came out with like pretty recently too.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Like
not.
only like within the last couple of years. What was his last movie? District
Was it
9.
the one with the robots? AI
No,
company?
No, that's
No.
a different. That's a different
did-
director.
he did Gran Turismo. He did that movie. That's why when I saw him,
really?
like he was the director for Gran Turismo. I was like, wait, what? That guy? Like he's District 9. Like I didn't even see Gran Turismo. I actually still want to watch it because
I
it's
heard it
based
was
on
good.
a true.
I-
Yeah,
I was like, is it? Like,
I heard it was based on a true story too. You know,
Right.
they're training a kid to race real cars by using Gran Turismo, which is crazy.
Wait. Hold on, you guys. I need to take a picture of this. Someone, for the first time in the history of ever on the internet, has said someone else is right. There you go. I have proof.
Print screen. Someone said.
Someone else
Someone
is
said you were right.
I
I
was
was
like, well,
wrong.
that's silly.
Be nice to Miss So. Don't you pick on Miss So. That's like our one.
No one ever says I'm right. I have a wife.
She's like one of our 3 fans. Okay.
Always- I want to
we
be
need
right.
to keep
one-
all of our
I
fans,
can
okay?
relate to that.
Including the cosplayers.
I want to be right just one time, please.
The life of a married man. Life of a married geek. Yeah.
Yes, and you need to get that. You need to get that picture slab.
Yes, this one's-
There you
this
go.
one's framed.
So, go ahead, AJ.
No, go ahead.
Well,
No,
we
I was
were
going to
just
ask
talking-
Mel. So you went to Fan Expo San Francisco not too long ago. You're not from the Bay. Did you get a chance to go around San Francisco, take a look at some of the highs and then definitely a lot of the lows in San
Right.
Francisco?
No, I didn't get to. Well, I went. I just like the furthest I went was across the street.
You're a band on tour. You show up, you go to the hotel, you go to the hall.
No, I'd like eventually I want to go to enough conventions where it's like I can go, longer, like bring
Or
my
like-
family and do that stuff.
You're like,
I can't
thank
wait
you
for
for having me, Los Angeles, when you're actually like in New York.
Thank you, Chesapeake.
Right?
Savannah, Georgia. Next time, you know what, Mel? Next year, if you show up at Fan Expo San Francisco, we'll take you. We'll help you get it. Do you drink? Are you a drinker? I was gonna say I'll get you a beer.
I don't drink normally, but when I do conventions, usually if I'm with, like I suffer a lot of high anxiety,
Mhm.
like at conventions, so I do drink while I'm at conventions.
Oh,
I
not
like
to
it.
like
I
get
like it.
obliterated. You know what
I
I'm
like
saying?
it.
Like,
I like it. No, no,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
need something to go show up on YouTube. Like, here's
Yeah.
Mel.
No. When I go out, I'm civil. Okay,
Right.
4 shots of whiskey. That's it. That's all I do. Don't worry about it. You know. No. But yeah, next time you're in San Francisco, man, we'll take you out. We'll take you to this little sky lounge that these two found in our hotel, like the very top, like on the 26th floor. Just go up there, have a $14 IPA and a $26 Cosmo, you know. But the view is gorgeous.
Right.
That's the reason why I go up there,
Right.
you know.
Mel, do you still go to San Diego Comic Con or no?
I haven't been yet. Like,
I thought you said you went like.
oh no, when in '91 I went like as a kid. You know, I was
Oh.
like 21 and I was like, oh.
We'll have our.
But then the older I got, I was like, when I became an artist, I was like, I would love to be able to do that show. You know, like just like even at a professional capacity, just to say I sat there as a professional. Like that's my bucket list one.
Talk about a professional. Take a look at this professional right here. What?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, maybe you should take Mel to that spot. That way you can take a professional photo.
You know what? We can definitely do that. It's not too far from the convention too. I want to see Mel's like Wu-Tang Clan like cover just right there, right in front.
Yeah. I'm at that age where everything I do is embarrassing now.
And
I don't
you
even
laugh
care anymore.
with it. You just can't.
like it.
You can't do anything but laugh with it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Don't take things seriously. And just have a great time.
Right? Just have fun. That's where I'm at now. It's all about the experience. Like I just want to have a fun experience.
There you go. And that's how it should be, man.
Now, have you
Are there
collected
any,
any art? Have you collected any art over the years, Mel? Do you have any favorite pieces? Or
See, the weird thing is again, because I am like, even in the comics, like I was the guy who, again, because of my ADHD, I couldn't read comics, but I loved them. Like my brother collected comics and he was the reader, but I was always like pouring over the pictures. Like I wanted to see the art, you know? And so I never really collected anything because I was always broke.
yeah.
You know, and so now it's like, you know, now I see like I want to collect things that mean something to me, but I'm just so new to it. Like, how do you even approach somebody? Like, I started reaching out, and it was funny because I had some of my friends who'd been in the industry like, hey, Mel, I want an original from you. And I'm like, oh, God, no. Like, I don't want that kind of pressure. And it was weird because when I started asking some of my friends, like, hey, dude, I just want something nice for my office, you know, a lot of them were like, oh, man, I'm nervous. That makes me nervous. And I was like, it was weird to see that on somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like in my mind, I'm like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I know you do this stuff. But for me, I don't do this stuff. so
Watch,
I would
someone's gonna tattoo.
What's
someone's
that?
gonna tattoo that Trinity somewhere on their arm. Watch, it's
Right.
gonna happen.
So like the Disney Lorcon, I did a card for them. And it was
I
like,
saw that.
Right? I didn't know
pretty
anything about it. I was like, I spaced it. Somebody was like, came up to me and was like, you know, like they leaked your card. And I was like, what card are you talking about? Like, I totally forgot I did this thing. And all these people were like, hey, you know, where are you going to be so I can sign this thing? And I'm like, what? And so the first time I saw somebody at a convention with it and was like, oh, I was like, wow, that was a really cool thing. So I was like, and then everybody was getting it signed. So part of me is like, I've been trying to figure out what could I collect for myself like that. So like my hat, I've got a bunch of the Lorcana artists that I started to have them sign it. I don't know why. I was like, more so than the card. I was like, I want something that's kind of like I can have for my office, but I haven't figured that out in the comic realm, right? Because like I have the television pre-production kind of realm that I like, and then I like I just, again, so new to comic books, like I'm like it was funny because like Dallas was my first convention since 2015, like my first comic convention since 2015.
Luke,
And
bring out
I was like,
your box of Destiny.
what's that?
You see Luke's box of Destiny, or it's kind of like his what do you call it? His this token for every convention he goes.
Right. That's why.
It.
Like the people who do the conventions, like I see they have this amazing thing that they do, whether it's jam pieces or like I haven't figured out something for myself.
Dang, dude, I still have my jam piece.
Let's
with,
put Luke right
one of
there.
our friends.
I mean,
Dang. Oh yeah.
Who was the first one that you got to sign?
I don't even remember. I think actually David Finch.
Right.
He
It
did
had to
this
be a picnic.
Batman.
That's so sick.
What was his reaction when you said, "Hey, sign this up"?
He was just he's like, nobody's ever asked me that before.
Right.
And when I started this, nobody had. And I don't even know how many. Like
You know what?
Jim
I think
Lee,
I'm
Jim
gonna get a
Lee's
long
there,
box.
Jeff Loeb, Joe Rubenstein. I didn't bring it to San Francisco. I brought the banner because this thing's such a pain to drag around.
Yeah, but Luke, we literally stayed like a block away. You could have gotten some stuff signed and then brought
It's
it back
not
to the
that.
hotel.
It's like a little bit bigger than a carry-on, and
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's what if I'm traveling, like I don't even like checking bags, so it's got to everything's got to fit.
I
There's
know.
no carry-on.
Checking bags. I just hate it.
Right.
Mel, I'm curious to know, have you had interactions with any I guess comic book artists that have been that has given you any sort of, I guess, work advice or comic book advice or anything like that?
I haven't done like Ryan Benjamin. I asked him how he does like the show part of it, like drawing in front of people. Like that's like my kryptonite. Like I love just drawing at home. So and he was like, you got to start somewhere. He's like, you're not going to make pretty crap all the time. So be okay with just fail and then just get over it. Right. And so like that helped out a lot, because again, I'm just so new. Like, the guy who was wrangling me in at Dallas, I remember he was like, I kept telling him I'm super nervous about doing like sketch covers or something, like somebody's waiting. I'd rather do it in the comfort of my house rather than now this is a product that I have to impress somebody with.
Totally.
And so he's like, well, let me tell you a story, Mel. He's like, the first time I went to a comic convention, I remember I went to the artist. I gave the artist, this, like what I wanted to have done. And he was drawing and he was telling a story as he was drawing. And as he finished the story, he finished the art piece, gave it to me. He's like, it was the most magical thing as somebody buying art. He's like, that's the cool. Mel, you should really do that. And I'm like, that ain't going to happen. And so the next lady that comes by, she's like, oh, I just want this head sketch. And my buddy's Matt is like, oh yeah, Mel will do it. And he'll also tell you a story while he does it. And I did it and I was pissed. I was like super pissed, but I wasn't pissed like so mad at him. I was happy he did that to me because it was a story that I can relate. Like now here's this story. I wouldn't have done it. He kind of nudged me to do it. And I get it. It's like when you see people's reaction to you just drawing and giving them a story, that's the fun of it. So I'm getting it.
It's just
you're providing someone with a one in a lifetime unique,
Right.
opportunity right
That's
there.
the same thing where he's put out there to perform, just
Right.
like his buddy made him go into the boss's office to ask for a raise.
It's
You put yourself out there and then put in the pressure and then see how you do.
You're giving life lessons over here, Mel.
No.
Like everyone's gonna be like, yeah, man, Mel
It is.
Milton could do that. I'm gonna do that.
well, and that's so again, my philosophy again, like it was funny when I went off on my own and did the poopy drawings, is when people started to react to me like in a positive way, and I was just tending to myself. So I would always tell people, everybody poops, right? But every sketch that I do that I post that's like me working out is always a thank you letter to me, right? It's like, again, I know what I look like when I don't do art, right? If I don't tend to that. And so to me, before I criticize it, I just put all that gratitude into it, right? Like, thank you, Mel, for making the choice to be the artist you want to be. So like, that's my goal, is to be an artist that I would have loved to have met.
I like that.
Mel, we got a question from Jeff. That Matt that you were talking about, is that the same Matt with BTC
Yes,
and Scott's
Ducey.
Collectibles?
He treated me really good. He eased me in. I was a complete wreck, and I thought because I was really concerned. I was like, I don't know if I can handle conventions. Like I said, the last convention I did, I was just wiped, and it took me like a year to recover, and that was just one convention. So I went into Dallas going, if I can't do this one, I'm not going to do any more conventions. And it ended up being one of the best things. I think I needed it more than I knew, because I was just rolling off of COVID, and I was like, I've just been buried in work, and mentally, I was like, the last couple of years it's taken its toll on me mentally. But everybody outside would look at it and you go, a lot of people would be like, Mel, you're on the up and up. You're like super successful and this and that. And I'm like, I'm mentally, drained. But it's funny, like once I went to that convention, I realized, again, it was a reminder of why I do art. It's not just for myself. It's, to connect with other people,
Right.
to get to the heart of, again, it's that inspiration, the nerding out. When two people seriously talk about the thing that they love, that's a connection that it's hard to break, And so with lockdown, it was like I was losing those connections, and I didn't realize how much it was affecting me.
Right.
See, man, Mel's so cool. Like, I'm actually gonna go broke here. I'm actually gonna have to go out and buy his covers, get them slabbed, just to say I have a Mel Milton slabbed cover because he's such a cool guy. God,
No, don't do that.
There's
Right.
Christmas shopping that needs to be done. Maybe I'll buy something for myself for Christmas, and it'll be like a Mel Milton like starter pack. Oh, look, this is. I'll get like the Lorcana card too. I think because he did the Mulan card. But,
Right.
oh, look what I got! Oh, man, this is a mystery pack.
But
That's
why not?
crazy.
Why not have Mel commission Mel to draw you in the nude?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with not nude, with tassels. Tassels. I need the tassels.
The expensive tab.
But I want the gold expensive,
Right.
hair from India tassels, okay?
Right. So as it spins, it tells you what time it is.
Red, is that how it goes? Like that?
I think it's time to move on to rapid fire questions.
All right, rapid. So Mel, here's another way for us to get to know you a little bit better. I have 10 rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask you 10 questions here. Just give us the answer as quickly as you can. This is just a better way to get to know you. I don't think there's any art type questions. This is just more about how you grew up and generational trauma. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Nope. Go
Generational trauma.
We're gonna go with this. Number 1, Mel, favorite childhood toy.
ahead. Oh man. You said rapid fire?
I did say rapid fire. You gotta. Oh man.
My favorite toy.
The worst thing here is that you take your time and actually give like a genuine answer.
Okay, because again, I can't think of toys. Like my dad would give us like $25 in the Sears catalog. Like so we never really got anything magical, That's why I have all the toys in my office now.
There you go.
Like,
There
I buy
you go.
toys now, but as a kid, I was like always wanted toys. I guess if we go, my ColecoVision was probably the coolest thing. Like I didn't get an Atari when it came out, and I was all mad. No, wait, when we got the TV Pong, like that was the coolest thing. Like
Shut up.
The very first video game, right?
I had that too.
In the house
with the paddle. With the
Yeah.
paddle. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Nobody understands that. Favorite junk food, Mel.
Oh man, there was some boardwalk fries in San Diego. Chili cheese fries is probably my go-to.
Ooh,
I like it.
favorite adult beverage.
Favorite adult beverage. I'm simple. I'm like a good beer. Like I don't know. I like all kinds of different beers.
Okay, going to what we talked about earlier today. Favorite home cooked meal, the best one that mom's made.
Yeah, that's the chicken arroz caldo.
Favorite vacation destination.
Oh man, that's hard. It's either Amalfi Coast or Nice was nice.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
Favorite con location? I know you've only been to a couple, but what was your favorite one so far?
Like I said, if I were to, because of that Wonder Woman cover, San Francisco was probably the one, because it was nice that nobody knew who that guy was. They're
Favorite
like,
horror
oh look,
movie?
you did this cover, and people were genuinely nice. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like nobody knew who I was, and it was like that brought them over and made my experience special. So San Francisco at this point.
Yeah, I like that. Favorite horror movie?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. When you put on your pants, right or left leg first?
Right.
Favorite restaurant?
Yeah, I'm not a foodie.
Give me junk food.
Like, are you talking sit down restaurant or just going out of my house?
Just in
like,
general, just like the go-to, Yeah, I want some of this tonight.
Oh man, I don't get
Let's go
that.
hot dogs.
Like I don't get that. Like my family's really finicky, so I'm like whatever they have, I don't care.
And then coffee, black or cream and sugar?
Cream and lots of sugar.
There you go. That's 10 rapid fire questions to get to know our new friend, Mel Milton, right there. Mel, thank you so much for playing. Next time we got to make these questions a little bit faster. I got to ask like other, rapid fire questions like Coke or Pepsi. Coke or Pepsi? Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Sprite or Mist?
Sprite.
Beach or snow?
Beach.
Okay, see.
I was like, why I'm in Utah.
I know. Well, you got a beach. I mean, you got the Salt Lake, right? They have a beach.
It doesn't have water.
No.
There's water.
No.
I
haven't. What's funny is I've never been there. I've never been to the Salt Lake.
How far are you from Salt Lake City?
About 45 minutes.
See, and then there's like snowboarding up there. Like I know there's a good winter not fiasco, but there's a whole winter thing going on over there because you guys have this, mountains.
If you love like outdoor winter stuff, I would say Utah has got the funnest snow, right? Like it's like powder.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it first snows, it's like this beautiful thing. It's just when it sits for a while, then my tropical blood is like, what the are you doing here, Mel?
Another rapid fire question. Isaiah's asking: pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Pencil. Ooh.
Have you ever thought about like picking up the fine powder and making hollow with it?
Ooh.
No, I haven't. I'm like, it looks pretty from outside my window. Like,
he's like, it's nice to warm inside his house. I think that's how he said beach. So I'm assuming that he's a tropical person. He's half Filipino, man. He's warm blooded. He wants to stay indoors.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like being in Utah has helped me to focus on art because I don't go out.
Oh, you know what? Then okay, that makes sense.
Also, dry state. There's no way you could buy alcohol from a regular store. You have to get
No,
that's what I said. It's like that's why I said. I was like, I don't drink here because it's not worth it.
That's right. And then like they don't sell alcohol like on Sundays, right? Or like alcohol past 8:00 at night, right? Or something like that.
What's funny is I worked at the liquor store here. Yeah. Like I remember my first day, I was like, man, this is gonna be terrible. Like, what kind of people are gonna show up? And it was like old people who couldn't afford their prescriptions.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, it was it was the saddest thing. Like it hit me hard because it was like I was thinking, oh, these troublemakers are gonna come in. It was just a bunch of old people like buying big jugs of whiskey.
Oh man.
Like I can't afford my pills. And you're like, oh man, this is some sad stuff.
Wow, drink your sorrows away.
Right?
Yeah, that's sad.
Hey Mel, I was curious to know. I was looking at your art. Are you more? Do you do a little bit of both, like traditional and digital? Yeah. And is there a preference?
Well, that's what I said. It's like if I were on my own, I love my Color-Ace pencil. Like I love just a red pencil sketch or a blue pencil sketch. Nothing too crazy. So a lot of that, or I like a good brush pen. But since I started making, like, I like digital. So like when I first went off on my own and I was like, I wanted to, handle digital paint like old school painters, get that brush, that energetic kind of stuff. And I would love to do a comic that way. But again, it's like, I haven't like doing it for myself is a different mode than doing it for somebody else. Cause then there's always the idea of like, what is it they want from me? So if I were to sit and say, okay, I could do it all day. Like I really want to get into painting, but I'm a mess, my wife is like, oh dear God. Like, like my kitchen table is just markers and paints. And she's like, you need to clean that stuff up. So digitally is just easier for me to do without making anybody mad.
We've got a listener wants to know who's your favorite comic character of all time?
Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Wonder
naturally.
Woman.
I like that without a doubt.
And what's funny is like when I first started drawing, it was like I thought an artist who can draw women really well was the top, right? Because like you can get round boobs and all that, but like, can you keep it feminine and still feel strong? So to me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do that. And Wonder Woman pretty much captured that for me because it was like she's like Spider-Man to me. Like anybody could be Wonder Woman, right? And any woman could be Wonder Woman. It's just this symbol of strength, power, and beauty all wrapped into one.
Right. One thing I also wanted to ask you, I know that you've done covers, but so it sounds like there's at least a piqued interest in doing like interiors.
Again, like I've been asked a lot, like, hey, do you want to do interiors? And that's a lot of work. Because again, I'm not like the covers I can one off, you know what I'm saying? Like my regular job, like I said, I work on just characters, coming up with costuming, clothing, stuff like that. So it's like a different mindset. And I would love the idea just to focus on like either one or the other, And so like most of my week, it's like right now, that's what I'm saying. I'm like bouncing from television to video games to comic books. And now I'm trying to incorporate traditional stuff into that. And my mind is going like, wait, you think you're 21? Like, no, it's like the old man part of me is like, just focus on something, But it's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. So part of me feels bad because I want to hone a skill, And so I'm trying to merge all of them into one, to be able to sit and say, okay, take that character design part, bring it into comic books, bring the traditional painter, bring that into comic books, and just have fun.
Right.
I'm a mess, dude.
Now, do you have your own store at all, or like you still selling your prints or any commission?
Dude, like I said, I'm the worst salesperson. It was funny because I didn't bring my art book. I brought only a couple of art books with me to like comic conventions because nobody ever buys my art book. But since I started doing conventions, now all of a sudden everybody's like, "Hey, I want to buy your art book." So I should be selling them online, but I had to shut my store down because I was like, I just don't have, I know I don't make
time to do everything.
Yeah, because I have to do everything. My daughter's like, I'm not doing that.
Like legit. Like I was diagnosed with ADHD. That sounds very ADHD-ish right there, Mel. Like there's just too much going on for the brain. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I knew it. I knew it coming out the womb. I'm like, dude, I am all, and that's what I said. It was like art is the only thing I really have an easy time focusing on. So like, it's like the longest.
That's why you should do all of your art and have somebody else just sell it for you. Just be like, look, I have this. Do something with it and make me money.
Well, so when you start off as an artist, and I tell students this, right? You start off as an artist, you're just being creative. But then once you go to school for it and you're like, I want to make it a living, now all of a sudden you split your focus. Now there's the business person and there's the artist. And the first person that most people tend to while they're in college is the business person, right? In their mind, they're working, they're like, hey, like I'm going to try to make the teacher impressed with this. But that thinking is just like, I want to impress somebody to have a product that I can sell. The older you get, you realize you're like, it's the craftsman that'll get you to this. But how do you stay genuine? Because artists will leave money on the table to become the craftsman, whereas business will not leave money on the table. Business is that's the idea. Take as much money as we can.
I have a perfect solution for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's various artists out there. When I've seen them at the booth, they do all the art. The wife is the one that does the business.
I have this. So and so like my wife is just like, sell it. Like there'll be people like as soon as I draw something, hey, can I buy that? And I remember there was one I drew up. And of course, for the gram, you gotta, take a picture of it and you like tweak it and whatever. And then this woman comes right out and she's like, I'll buy that. And I was like, okay, I have to send you the real picture. Like it had tire tracks from my office chair because I rolled over it and a big coffee cup stain on it. And I was like, if you're good, I'll sell it to you like with this. And and my wife was like, just sell it. And I go, well, what would you charge for that? Like something that's damaged and broken and messed up. What would you charge? And she was like, well, that is hard because I was like, I didn't create it with the idea to sell it. I created it for me first. And then when somebody says, hey, I want it, it's like, what do you want to charge? And most of the times, like I said, I know what Mel looks like who wasn't the artist. So to get to a point where people want to buy it, it's like, oh, that's weird. But how do I sell that? And that's finding. So like my sister ran my booth, my second convention, and I made money because she was like, you be you. And anytime I just need you to sign something, I'll call you over.
That's how a lot of these artists are, and they're their wife or family member. They're the shield because we all know that the artist's like, hey, can I just get a quick little sketch? And then that significant other's like, well, actually,
it's gonna be $50, right?
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about a certain Filipino artist and his wife? Is that what we're?
No, I'm not throwing in.
Are we talking about a certain silver fox hair Filipino artist and his wife? Okay,
it happens to a lot of artists where, like, I know that, like
that's her hustle too. Her hustle's his hustle.
Adams is very known for that. Before the time of his death, his wife ran the show. Right? So there's no way you can get a free sketch or a free signature out of Neil Adams.
There's certain artists who I'm like just waiting for their wife to like leave the booth for a bathroom break, and then I'm gonna go in for like, hey, can I just get a quick little sketch on this?
Are we talking about a certain silver fox out there?
Is he like movie, the Lumpia movie, or what?
We're not. I know we're not trying to name people here, but does his name sound like Wilsey?
No.
One day we'll get one of our favorite artists out here, but right now we have our new friend of the show, Mel Milton, here in the house.
And I know, Mel, it's getting late for you, so we don't want to keep you around too long.
Like I said, it was easy. Talking nerd stuff is good. It's good for the soul.
For the fans who want to get in touch with you for maybe a commission or whatever, are you open for commissions right now? And where can they follow you? And I don't mean to throw you on the spot. This whole talking about drawing, but hey,
let's not put him on the spot, but let's put him on the spot.
Because this is okay. So where you can find me is Mel Make Dukes on Instagram, or just Mel Milton on Facebook, or Mel Milton on LinkedIn. As far as commissions, like, it has to be something that I would enjoy. Like, I don't like, there's people who are like, hey, I need you to draw, a loved one. I don't like doing those.
Oh, that's a lot.
Especially because, like, it's important. Like, I don't even draw my wife. Like, I've never drawn my daughter because it's important to me, and I would just mess it right up. So, like, to me, I'm like, to draw somebody else, and it's like, oh, I want a gift from my wife, and it's like a picture of my wife. I'm like, God, I hate those. So I usually like, no, because most of anything that I do in my free time is I want the least amount of stress. But if it's like, something that I'm like, oh, that's something that I would draw anyways in my free time, I usually will offer it up to somebody. Like, I'll tell them if it's something fun, I can draw it up. If they don't want it, I'll just sell it to somebody else, but I won't, like, I'll be like, here's my price based off of this. If you like it, you like it. You don't, then you don't have to. There's like no pressure. Because like I said, I always like just drawing from that place, knowing it's going to a place where they're equally excited about whatever it is they're getting. You know what I'm saying? So you can hit me up. I get emails for these. I always tell people, like, at conventions, like, if there's something that you want and it's fun for me, like, I'll draw it up, I'll throw it up, and I'll like share it, and then they can say I either want it or I don't. You're not asked out, because there's enough people that will be like, hey, I'd buy that.
Gotcha. Yeah. And is email or direct message through Instagram the best, or?
No, Instagram. Like, I guess I'm like, why do people message me through there? But usually MEL-LEVATED@msn.com. It's like the
Okay. All right.
easiest way to get hold of me.
And
MSN. I actually wanted to talk
Right?
to you about Mel. Hold on, Mel. I know you've been in tech, Mel.
Right?
I'm in tech. MSN. This is like the equivalent of someone having either
AOL.
AOL or Netscape.com. Just wondering why haven't we made the move over to something like more modern, like a Gmail?
I do have a Gmail. So all like most of my commissions and stuff go to Gmail.
Okay.
But if you want me to read your stuff, it's my Mail-Made.
Mail-Made. I mean, that server's still around. That's crazy.
Right? And it's like I said, I don't have to get a whole bunch of numbers and asterisks.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Right.
it's just
That's
Mail-Made.
true.
It's easy to just roll it out and say, oh, I'm at Mail-Made@msn.com.
And before letting you go, favorite game. What's your favorite? Because since you're in the gaming industry, what's your favorite game?
Favorite game? Dang it. It's not rapid fire, right?
No, this one's not rapid fire.
Favorite
That one,
game. God,
because Luke and I were the gamers of the group, so I'm curious.
dang. I'd say Rayman.
Oh man, PS2
The 2D
Rayman?
one, the 2D one that just like that was like my daughter before she could talk.
Mhm.
Me and her would play that game. So that's like my favorite. I haven't finished the game. She's got me on a game called Rain World right now. That she likes the idea of watching her dad want to rage quit.
Play Call of Duty or like Apex Legends or Fortnite.
Yeah,
That's where you rage quit.
See, I can't play games where there's other because I take it too personal.
Yeah.
Like I can't play those games. Like
especially
my
when
brother,
the 12-year-old's like, man, you're trash.
Right,
I
right.
hate the way you
they're
play.
talking junk to you.
Fuck you,
Yeah, I
kid.
do look at it now.
Right? That was like I remember when I was younger, I would always go to the arcade and drop a bucket load of quarters on Mortal Kombat.
Oh
And
yeah.
just to learn Scorpion. I was like, let me learn Scorpion like for a year. And then, there was always the little Asian kids that come in and they would line up the quarters on the thing and have all their cousins with them. And they would just live there. They just wait for you to go there and they'd beat you. And then they would just live the rest of the time. And they would know every character. I'm like, I'm spending how much money? And I don't even know Scorpion that good. So yeah, I can't play games where there's other people involved because I take it personally.
oh
See,
man.
hold on. Kind of going off of what you said right there. So I went to Puerto Rico when I was 18 years old, and they had a Mortal Kombat 2 machine,
Right.
in the hotel. And I was like, I was only 18 at the time. I was like, this is the only place I can hang out until I found out in Puerto Rico you can actually drink at 18. I didn't know that until it was too late. Anyway, I was downstairs in the arcade. I spent most of my time in there playing Mortal Kombat 2, and all these Puerto Ricans come by, and they're, I hear them making comments. Este chino, este chino. They think I'm Chinese. They don't know I'm half Filipino, half Mexican, right? So I'm like, I understand these fuckers. I'm like, all right. So I start playing Mortal Kombat, start fucking destroying them, and
Were you trash
they all
talking
just start
Spanish?
giggling. And then I was like, hey, ¿quieres jugar otra vez? ¿Otra vez? Vámonos. ¿Hablas español? Yo puedo hablar español. ¿Cómo? ¿Por qué no sabías que puedo hablar español? They're like, oh my God, we were talking shit about you this whole time. I'm like, I know, puppy. No.
Yeah,
I was talking shit about you guys to your face, so it's okay. In English and in Spanish. Don't make me bust out the Filipino either.
I wish I had that.
All right, Mel. Well, we don't want to keep you on too long. Last thing though, are there any new projects that your fans or our listeners and viewers can look forward to?
I have no idea. I'm really excited about the stuff that I'm working on now. Fingers crossed.
Oh, that's the NDA face right there.
Yeah.
Yep, that looks like an NDA face all the way. He's not allowed to talk about it, but he's going to talk a little bit about it.
Right. Ew! That's why I wanted to be an artist, is get those moments where you work on something, you're like, oh man, I wish I could tell people about this. I like waiting for the day to be able to roll out. So most of the stuff that I work on, is stuff that I've been able to tie into my childhood. So that's
okay.
Oh,
All right.
hold on. Is this a childhood where you had certain toys that maybe had turned from one thing into another, like maybe like a walking something into a vehicle, a vehicular?
No, this is the NDA face right there.
That looks like an NDA face all the way. I don't think Mel's allowed to talk about this. So So Mel, our friend John Jang, when we asked him the same
I
question,
love
he would
John.
give us this look of like, oh shit. So we penned that the NDA face, and I
Right.
believe you just gave us a couple of them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's not assume, but I guess we can assume that there's
we
something
can hope.
fantastic.
Definitely
coming from
things
Mel.
are in the works.
Right. No,
Very
no,
soon.
that's what I said. It's like as an artist, I look at like people who support me. Like I like those moments where it's like I level up, almost to like show those people who were with me early on to be like, oh, like I remember Mel when he was here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that to me is half the experience right there. So like I couldn't be this artist without people being so nice and supportive. So like you guys reaching out and just even having this discussion is one of those moments, you know, that's like, oh, yeah.
It won't be the last. This is
Fine.
Yeah, it won't.
Oh,
But
I
like I
already
said,
know that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
bugging
Mel's
you
coming
guys
back.
all the time.
Mel's
Like,
coming
showing up
back.
at your house.
Yeah, no, please do. Please do.
What you guys got cooking? Like, you know, you're the-
Arroz caldo, maybe the Mexican style though, you know.
Red is if you're ever up in like Sacramento or the around that area, Red is a
Korean
great
barbecue.
cook.
all right. All right.
Yeah.
I'll hit you guys up. That's why
And I'll
trying to travel more.
take you
that?
out to like some. I'll take you out to some like food carts, some Mexican and Latino food carts here in Oakland. I got you, man.
Those
I
are
got
like
you,
the
baby.
best.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, again, thanks, Mel, for coming on for the first time. We definitely want to have you back.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you all next week.
Breaking news.
Oh,
No, what?
what?
Draymond Green gets tossed out of the game for the third time this season for getting in the
That's
fight.
not.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll talk about that off air. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Peace.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Sealess Villains podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and email us at sealessvillains@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail or text us at 209-975-7597. Be sure to join Luke Week's Facebook group, Rare Keys and First Appearance Comics. And you can follow us on our 2 Instagram accounts, Sealess Villains and Sealess Villains Podcast. Lastly, follow the villains on their separate IG accounts, at Luke Weeks, at C-List Villainous Red, at C-List E-Man, and I am at AJ